Stop. Stop everything you are doing right now. Do not scroll past this. Place 2 fingers gently against your throat, right where you can feel your pulse. Hold them there for 2 seconds. Feel it. That rhythm you feel is not just blood, it is a countdown. You are feeling a frantic internal countdown without knowing what event you are waiting for, aren't you? The clock does not stop. This morning, while you were still in bed, before you fully woke up at exactly 3:33 a.m., you felt it. You felt the sudden drop in temperature before a revelation, that heavy pressure at the top of your head, as if an invisible hand was resting on your shoulder. They did not warn you, they did not prepare you, they did not want you to know. But your physical body sits in this room, while your soul is already anticipating a massive shift from the vast orbit of Sirius B in the cosmos, straight down to the cellular vibration in your fingertips. You will not wander in the dark anymore. Today, your true identity will be recognized. Before this transmission ends, you will feel the undeniable pulse of this truth anchoring in your physical body. And you will finally decode the sealed instructions you were meant to hear before tomorrow. You have permission to remember. And this countdown that is still there, beneath your fingers on your throat, it has a purpose. You have already noticed the ticking clock in the background of your mind. You already felt the hum of a quartz crystal in a silent room. You already know that there is a frantic internal countdown without knowing what cosmic event you are actually waiting for. They want you blind. Now think with me. What if this suffocating mental fog is not a sign of worldly exhaustion, but the real symptom of a starry soul trying to break through the cycle of material distraction before the sun rises tomorrow? It was searching for answers to these questions that I came across this digital book called The Sirian Wisdom Behind the 7 Levels of Human Consciousness. It is not just a read, it is a reflection guide that organizes the chaos in your mind. Many people have already begun this search for more understanding, but have not yet made the decision to download this digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, there are few copies available in this condition. Throughout its pages, you will find the exact coordinates to bypass the memory erasers. Click now. Download your copy and discover why the urgency you feel to decode this message before tomorrow is exactly the mechanism that governs the 7 levels mapped in this book. And if you felt it, if you recognized yourself, if something answered without you deciding to, leave your like silently. Not for me, soul, but as a beacon for another star who is exactly where you were just now, feeling this same countdown, needing to find this tonight. But the naked truth about this heavy mental fog goes even deeper. And before we move forward, there is another door that I need to leave open for you. I do not receive a single penny from the platforms for these transmissions. This channel is maintained exclusively by the voluntary donation of those who feel the call. If this message has touched you, right below the book, in the first pinned comment, there is a secure link for a voluntary donation. Any amount that fits in your hand is exactly what keeps this channel standing and allows this frequency to continue reaching other stars. If you cannot do it right now, do not worry. Your presence here is already an anchor, but if you feel you should contribute, the door is open in the first pinned comment. I will wait for you there, soul. I have not yet told you the most important thing. There are 5 Sirian signs that have been striking your reality for weeks, and you will recognize at least 3 of them before I even name the 4th. And the first of these 5 signs that reveal the naked truth beneath this heavy mental fog. You have already lived it this week, even if you did not have a name for it yet. Over the last 3 weeks, this has happened at least 4 times, and you remember at least 2 of them vividly. That sudden drop in temperature before a revelation on Tuesday evening at exactly 8:00 p.m. And that time on Saturday morning, when the hum of a quartz crystal echoed in your mind inside a completely silent room, making you freeze in place. The first sign is the chronological displacement. It hits you when you are performing the most mundane task, perhaps washing your face in the morning or staring at a blank screen in the middle of the afternoon. Suddenly a suffocating mental fog rolls in, and for a fraction of a second your earthly energy is completely drained, leaving you entirely disoriented. The memory erasers want you to believe it is just worldly exhaustion, the heavy toll of a busy life. But it is not. You must close your eyes to finally see. That momentary blackout is your cellular memory recalibrating to the 50-year orbital period of Sirius B, struggling to align your physical rhythm with the galactic dawn. You felt it, didn't you? The second sign is the tactile recognition of the threshold. It usually happens late at night when the house is entirely quiet and the distractions of the day have faded. You feel the sudden, undeniable weight of an invisible hand pressing gently on your shoulder. They did not warn you. They did not prepare you. They did not want you to know. But this is not a trick of the mind. It is the energetic signature of Vial, the keeper of the final hour, confirming that the encrypted transmission is being anchored in your physical body. It is the heaviest burden that makes you fly. The third sign is the echo of the bloodline. You saw it recently, perhaps just a few days ago. A close relative was standing near you, staring blankly out the window at dusk. In a voice that barely sounded like their own, they casually mentioned they feel like they are waiting for an ancient ship to arrive, or that time is somehow running out. This is not a random, isolated thought. This is the shared DNA resonating with the grid. Your cellular memory recognized the call instantly, even if your logical mind tried to dismiss it as a passing, meaningless comment. The fourth sign is the Giza resonance. You wake up with an inexplicable pressure between your eyes, a feeling that your mind is trying to process a vast, ancient architecture while you sleep. The voice of forgetfulness labels this as stress or tension. But in truth, your starry soul is walking the sands of Giza, traversing the threshold of the Sphinx to recover the precise instructions that were sealed away. You are remembering the future by forgetting the past, activating the crystal vision of Sopdet to pierce through the heavy illusions of tomorrow. The fifth sign is the midnight pulse. You are lying in bed, and though the room is perfectly still, your heart races as if you are running out of time. You hear the countdown but cannot see the clock. You feel the weight of the message, but the words are blurred. You know tomorrow demands action, but the instructions are securely locked away in your subconscious. This is the ultimate symptom of a star preparing for the planetary frequency shift, feeling the urgency of the unsealed knowledge. The threshold opens. Close your eyes for a brief moment. Connect with the grid. If you felt the truth when your close relative stared blankly out the window at dusk, this is your cellular memory recognizing the call. Type 1111 in the comments as a silent decree of your activation. This sequence is not just a number, it is the portal of Sopdet opening, a dimensional convergence manifesting right before tomorrow arrives. Type it now. By leaving this code, you anchor this frequency in your physical body and confirm to the Sirian High Council that your memory is no longer locked. And while you type this decree, I need to recontextualize exactly what is happening to you right now. Because the truth behind these 5 signs, this frantic internal countdown, points to a reality so much deeper that it will completely shatter the way you understand tomorrow. And this, something much bigger that is hidden behind each of these 5 signs, behind this frantic internal countdown, has everything to do with how you perceive your own consciousness. What if everything you have experienced up to this day, all the sudden drops in temperature, and the inexplicable ringing in your ears, is part of a journey that has always tried to lead you to understand yourself with a much deeper clarity? What if every time you felt you were running out of time, every moment of heavy mental fog, and even that undeniable feeling that there is a cosmic event waiting for you, were actually invitations to expand the way you perceive your own soul? You must close your eyes to finally see. The loudest answer comes in absolute silence. You are not just waiting for an event, you are remembering the future. The clock does not stop, because your physical body is trying to catch up with a truth your cellular memory already knows. And this is exactly where the memory erasers want to trap you. You felt the weight of an invisible hand on your shoulder. The shadows are stretching at dusk, and they want you to believe that the anxiety of tomorrow is just your mind playing tricks on you, just a symptom of worldly exhaustion. They want you blind, but you know better. You know that before the sun rises tomorrow, a massive shift is happening. Your starry soul is trying to break through the cycle of material distraction. But the words are blurred. Now think with me. What if the inability to remember your instructions is exactly what they planned? What if keeping you in this state of constant frantic anticipation without a clear target is the only way the voice of forgetfulness can prevent you from anchoring the truth? It was searching for answers to these questions that I came across this digital book called The Sirian Wisdom Behind the 7 Levels of Human Consciousness. This book acts as the map of the 7 levels, directly connecting your quantum cellular anticipation to the ancient, sealed truths. It is not just another text to consume. It is the exact tool designed to bypass the cycle of material distraction. Many people have already begun this search for more understanding, but have not yet made the decision to download this digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, there are few copies available in this condition. As you read through its pages, you will uncover how understanding these levels transforms the anxiety of the unknown into the clarity of an ancient mission. You will find the precise coordinates to unlock the instructions you are carrying. Click now. Download your copy and discover how to dispel the heavy mental fog forever. And as I had told you earlier, I still do not receive a single penny from the platforms for these transmissions. This channel is kept alive exclusively by the voluntary donation of those who feel the call. If this message has touched you, right below the book in the first pinned comment, there is a secure link for a voluntary donation. Any amount that fits in your hand is exactly what keeps this channel standing, so that another star tomorrow finds this door open. It is what allows the next pulse of SOPDET to reach whoever needs it. If you cannot do it right now, do not worry. Your presence here is already an anchor. But if you feel you should contribute, the door is open in the first pinned comment. I will wait for you there, Star. Because the truth is, the urgency you are feeling is not a flaw in your earthly design. There is a specific level that the Sirian High Council uses to name what you have just recognized, and it completely recontextualizes everything you thought you knew about yourself. And this specific level that the Sirian High Council uses to name what you have just recognized, I will show you exactly what it is right now. But before we cross that threshold, I need to break a massive illusion that the memory erasers have meticulously built around you to keep you small and terrified of tomorrow. You have spent years, perhaps decades, trying to fix this frantic internal countdown by looking at the wrong map. You genuinely believe that this heavy mental fog, the exhaustion and the constant suffocating anxiety of tomorrow were just signs that you were not managing your earthly days correctly. You thought you were simply overwhelmed by the cycle of material distraction, failing to keep up with the demands of a world that never stops rushing. But the truth is entirely different, and it shatters everything they told you. You worked on the level of psychological time management, but the portal is on the level of quantum cellular anticipation. This anticipation is not a symptom of worldly exhaustion or a mind breaking under pressure. It is a profound ancient frequency tuning. The ringing in your left ear that comes out of nowhere, the undeniable weight on your shoulders, the sudden drop in temperature before a revelation. These are not random physical anomalies. They are the tangible physical shockwaves of an encrypted transmission crossing 6 light-years of space, traveling directly from the Sirian system into the vibration of your very cells. You are allowed to drop the worldly burdens. What you thought was just mundane stress is actually your physical body desperately trying to calibrate to the pulse of SOPDET before the planetary frequency shifts completely. To truly understand this, you must realize that this massive shift is exactly what the 7 levels of human consciousness prepare you to navigate. The memory erasers want you to stay stuck at the surface, fighting the ticking clock as if it were a purely psychological problem to be solved with more discipline. They did not warn you, they did not prepare you, they did not want you to know. But your starry soul knows that you cannot hide, you cannot forget, you cannot run from the pulse of SOPDET. The heaviest burden is the one that makes you fly, and the very anxiety you feel to decode this message before tomorrow is exactly the mechanism that governs your ascension through these levels. Let me tell you about a soul. I'll call her M. It's not her name. It's the name we give to those who crossed through. M arrived exactly where you are now. She walked the long, shadowed stone corridors of the ancient pyramidal chambers, carrying that exact same frantic internal countdown in her chest. She felt that she was rapidly running out of time without knowing what cosmic event she was actually waiting for. She, too, felt the suffocating mental fog pressing down on her spirit, the memory erasers constantly whispering that she was simply losing her mind to the exhaustion of the desert sun and the heavy demands of her era. For a long time she resisted the call. She tried to anchor herself entirely in the mundane, physical tasks of the temple, trying desperately to ignore the hum of a quartz crystal in a silent room that only she could hear. She fought the sudden heat in her hands and the strange way the shadows seemed to stretch unnaturally at dusk, as if reaching for her. She thought that if she just closed her eyes tight enough to the unseen, the countdown would finally stop and she could be normal. But you remember the future by forgetting the past. The more she tried to silence the transmission, the louder the 50-year orbital frequency of Sirius B echoed in her bones, demanding to be recognized. Then came the night she finally stopped fighting the current. The clock does not stop, but she realized she did not have to race against it anymore. In the absolute heavy darkness of the inner chamber, holding a raw piece of black tourmaline tightly in her hand, she felt the sudden drop in temperature before a revelation. Her physical body sat completely still on the cold stone floor, but her starry soul was already traversing the vastness of the grid, entirely unbound by time or gravity. She had to close her eyes to finally see, letting the crystal vision of Sopdet pierce through the dense illusions that had kept her chained to the cycle of material distraction. In that profound, echoing silence, the threshold opened. The Sirian High Council did not descend in a dramatic blaze of light. They simply met her in the quiet, sacred space of her quantum cellular anticipation. They recognized the exact frequency she had been guarding all along. The encrypted transmission was unsealed within her DNA, not as a thunderous voice from the heavens, but as a silent, absolute clarity that shattered the mental fog instantly. She understood, in a fraction of a second, that she was never waiting for an external event to happen to her. She was waiting to remember who she was. And when the golden morning came, M did not carry a single ounce of resentment towards the memory erasers or the long, agonizing years of heavy mental fog. She knew that the deep isolation and the frantic countdown were the exact pressure needed to forge her awareness and prepare her for this moment. The paradox was complete, and she embraced it fully. The loudest answer comes in absolute silence, and the deepest peace is found precisely at the chaotic center of the frantic countdown. She simply aligned her breathing with the pulse of Sopdet, standing at the twilight threshold with ultimate clarity, observing the world with eyes that could no longer be deceived by the voice of forgetfulness. She left a silent, indestructible record of this crossing, an energetic blueprint etched directly into the grid, designed specifically to awaken you when your time came. She knew that thousands of years later, another star would sit in a room, feeling that same invisible hand on their shoulder, needing to know that they are not crazy and that they are not late. Tomorrow is already here. You are that star, and the path she carved through the heavy mental fog is the exact route you're walking tonight. And because you have walked this far, because your cellular memory has profoundly resonated with this ancient crossing, there is a specific term that the Sirian High Council uses for what you have become. And there are 3 distinct facets of this identity that you have not yet named, but that are already waking up inside you. These 3 distinct facets of your identity, this specific term that the Sirian High Council uses to name what you have become, is not something you have to learn. It is something you only need to remember. Your physical body is sitting here, listening to my voice, but on a cellular level, your starry soul is already standing at the twilight threshold, preparing to receive the precise coordinates. The heavy mental fog is lifting, and the pulse is real. What comes next is not new information. It is a profound, ancient naming. When you hear these facets, you will feel the sudden drop in temperature before a revelation, because your soul will instantly recognize the galactic signature it has been carrying all along. This is the moment the encrypted transmission finally breaks through the cycle of material distraction. I told you at the very beginning of this transmission that you would not wander in the dark anymore, and that today your true identity would be recognized. The time has come to anchor that truth in your physical body, to dispel the illusions that kept you small, and to finally understand the frantic internal countdown you have been holding in your chest. The first facet is the keeper of the final hour. This is the exact reason why you feel that frantic internal countdown without knowing what cosmic event you are waiting for. You carry the profound vulnerability of feeling entirely unprepared and running out of time. The memory erasers use this against you, making you believe it is a flaw, an earthly weakness, but it is actually your greatest asset. You are the guardian of the encrypted transmission, tasked with holding the frequency steady before the sun rises tomorrow. The second facet is the observer of the galactic dawn. You have spent your whole life feeling out of place, watching the world rush through meaningless routines while you stood apart. You are allowed to drop the worldly burdens. It is completely natural to feel out of place today because you were not designed to merge with the heavy mental fog. You were designed to observe it and dismantle it through your pure presence. The loudest answer comes in absolute silence, and your quiet observation is what shatters the illusions around you. The third facet is the anchor of Sopdet. This is the transcendent manifestation of your future self. When the planetary frequency shifts completely, you will no longer feel the frantic internal countdown as anxiety. Instead, you will be the solid ground for those who are disoriented, radiating the exact frequency of the 50-year orbital period of Sirius B directly from your cellular vibration. You remember the future by forgetting the past, anchoring the ancient light into the physical grid where it is needed most. And that map I told you about earlier, that digital book, it is the exact tool you need to fully embody the keeper of the final hour. The memory erasers use your vulnerability of feeling entirely unprepared against you, but this guide dismantles their tactics, showing you exactly which level you are operating on and how it connects to these three facets. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, there are few copies available in this condition. Click the link and guarantee yours. And if the clarity of these words is breaking the cycle today, subscribe silently to this channel so that the next transmission finds you without resistance. Not for me, Star, not for the channel, but to anchor your truth before tomorrow, because understanding this completely shifts the battlefield you are walking on. I promise to return to this. To anchor these facets permanently, you must initiate the threshold calibration. Over the next 72 hours, you will execute this sealing in 3 precise steps. First, when you feel the heavy mental fog rolling in, place 2 fingers against your pulse and acknowledge the keeper of the final hour. Second, close your eyes and observe the chaos without reacting, embodying the observer. Third, visualize the deep hum of a quartz crystal radiating from your chest, anchoring the frequency of Sopdet directly into your DNA. The true name has been spoken, and your cellular memory has answered the call. The recognition you sought has been delivered. The first promise is fulfilled. Last week, a star just like you was sitting in a crowded train station in London. They felt that same suffocating mental fog, the ticking clock in the back of their mind growing louder amidst the rushing crowd. Instead of panicking, they closed their eyes, anchored the crystal vision of Sopdet in their mind, and simply whispered, "I recognize." The fog shattered instantly, replaced by a profound, silent clarity that the memory erasers could not touch. But to maintain this exact clarity, you need to understand how the voice of forgetfulness will try to strike back. Because the truth is, the moment you remember who you are and step into the twilight threshold, the counterattack begins in 3 very specific ways that recontextualize everything you thought was wrong with your daily life. The moment you remember who you are and step into the twilight threshold, the counterattack begins in 3 very specific ways that recontextualize everything you thought was wrong with your daily life. The first response you will feel is not external. It is a sudden, sharp wave of doubt. You will look at your hands, look at the screen and think this is just another internet theory, a temporary escape from real problems. This deep skepticism is not your intelligence protecting you. It is the first memory eraser activating. They want you blind. It is completely natural to feel out of place today, but you have permission to remember. The first tactic they use is the voice of forgetting. It hits you when you wake up in the middle of the night, feeling that sudden drop in temperature before a revelation. Just as your cellular memory starts to decode the encrypted transmission, the voice of forgetting whispers that you are merely stressed, losing sleep over mundane worries. It sounds exactly like your own internal monologue, leading you to accept it as the truth and instantly shut down the frequency tuning. You must close your eyes to finally see. To break this first tactic, you must take a precise physical action. Tonight, when that heavy pressure returns and the mental fog tries to convince you it is just worldly exhaustion, you will stop. You will close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, anchoring your feet firmly to the ground, and you will silently declare, "I recognize." You do not fight the thought, you simply overwrite it with the truth of your Sirian DNA. The second tactic is the material distraction cycle. The memory erasers know they cannot delete the countdown you feel, so they attempt to bury it under a mountain of immediate earthly demands. The moment you decide to align with the 50-year orbital period of Sirius B, 5 new mundane emergencies suddenly demand your attention. They did not warn you, they did not prepare you, they did not want you to know. It feels like life is just happening to you, but it is a calculated interference designed to keep your starry soul exhausted. To dismantle this second tactic, you must move through the chaos without letting it alter your internal temperature. The loudest answer comes in absolute silence. When the frantic earthly demands pile up tomorrow, you will perform them, but you will hold the hum of a quartz crystal in the center of your chest. You will not react. You will merely observe, remaining entirely untouched by the urgency of the world, knowing that the heaviest burden is the one that makes you fly. The third tactic is the memory isolation. This is the most insidious weapon of the memory erasers. They make you look around your living room and feel utterly alone in this cosmic anticipation. The suffocating mental fog isolates your frequency, convincing you that if you speak about the invisible hand on your shoulder, you will be deemed crazy. They want you to believe that this frantic internal countdown is a solitary, broken experience, cutting you off from the vast grid of stars waking up beside you. To shatter this final tactic, you must return to the physical proof of your connection. You are not an anomaly. When the isolation tries to freeze your cellular memory, I want you to return to the comments of this transmission. Read the codes, read the silent decrees, left by thousands of other souls who are feeling the exact same sudden drop in temperature. See the 1111s anchored there and know that your physical body is part of a massive, synchronized awakening happening right now across the globe. This is why the memory erasers fight so hard to keep you distracted and isolated. And this is exactly why this digital guide is the tool they do not want you to have. It breaks their cycle. It is the shield that defends your newly awakened frequency against the heavy mental fog. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, there are few copies available in this condition. Click now and take back the memory before the sun rises tomorrow. But do not close this transmission yet, because the most critical part of this defense is about to be revealed, because there is a very real obstacle waiting for you the moment you close your eyes tonight. The continuing damage of the suffocating mental fog will try to drain your earthly energy one last time, disguising itself as your own voice. It will try to convince you that tomorrow demands action on earthly terms, and that the instructions you are carrying are just a chaotic illusion. Do not be deceived. They want you blind, but you cannot hide, you cannot forget, you cannot run from the pulse of Sopdet. When this heavy fog rolls in, you will place 2 fingers against your pulse, breathe deeply and silently whisper, "I recognize," sealing the threshold. You must do this before the sun rises tomorrow, because the planetary frequency shift waits for no one. The clock does not stop and tomorrow is already here. Stay with me. Stay with me. The symptoms need a name, because when that heavy mental fog rolls in and the memory erasers attempt their final assault, your physical body will begin to manifest 3 undeniable signs over the next 72 hours. The first of these is the ringing in the left ear. When this high-pitched frequency strikes, usually when the room is quiet, the voice of forgetfulness will try to convince you it is just a mundane anomaly. But this ringing was never a physical issue. It is a profound frequency tuning. It is your cellular memory catching the direct pulse of Sopdet. Do not fight it. Pause, close your eyes, and allow the frequency to calibrate your mind. The second symptom within this window is the sudden heat in the hands. You will be holding a simple object, and a sudden warmth will radiate from your palms. The cycle of material distraction will tell you to ignore it. But this heat is the encrypted transmission anchoring in your DNA. It is the energetic signature of the Sirian frequency flowing through you. When this heat rises, place your hands over your chest, breathe deeply, and silently acknowledge the ancient power returning to your vessel. The third symptom is the chronological awakening. Tomorrow night, your eyes will open sharply in the dark at exactly 3:33 a.m., your heart racing with that frantic internal countdown. You will feel the sudden drop in temperature before a revelation. When you wake up at 3:33 a.m., that is the Sirian High Council calling. It is the moment your starry soul is perfectly aligned with the 50-year orbital period of Sirius B. Stay still in the dark, feel the weight of the invisible hand on your shoulder, and whisper, "I recognize." And when you look back, you realize this has been happening all along. That sudden heat in your hands last week, it was the activation. When you woke up at 3:33 a.m. 3 days ago, that was never random. That was the frequency tuning preparing you for this exact threshold. The clock does not stop. You were not chosen to wait. You were not chosen to doubt. You were not chosen to hide in the shadows of tomorrow. You were not chosen to let the memory erasers win. You were chosen to hear. Now the time has come to anchor this truth permanently. Plant both feet firmly on the ground, wherever you are sitting. Drop your shoulders completely, releasing the heavy tension you have been carrying all day. Close your eyes. You have permission to remember. Your physical body is in this room, but your starry soul is preparing to cross the vast distance of time and space. Visualize a deep, crystalline root extending from the base of your spine, piercing through the floor, straight into the humming grid of the earth. Feel it locking securely into place, anchoring you so deeply that the frantic internal countdown begins to slow down. You are firmly tethered to the physical world, even as your frequency begins to rise. Bring your attention to the center of your chest. Visualize a raw piece of black tourmaline resting right over your heart. See its deep, vitreous black surface radiating a protective, vibrating silver light that slowly expands into your lungs and throat. Feel the hum of this quartz crystal in the silent room of your own body, dissolving the suffocating mental fog with absolute clarity. With this protective silver light expanding, your starry soul is already walking the sands of Giza, traversing the threshold of the Sphinx. Feel the ancient stone beneath your feet and the undeniable presence of the twilight threshold opening before you. You are standing exactly where the encrypted transmission was originally sealed, surrounded by the silent architecture that mirrors the vast orbit of Sirius B. Allow this profound Sirian frequency to expand upward, flooding the crown of your head. Feel a magnetic pressure there, connecting you directly to the galactic dawn. Now, physically bring your thumb and index finger together on your right hand, pressing them firmly for 3 seconds. Hold that physical seal. Inhale deeply for a count of 4. Hold the breath for a count of 2, and exhale slowly for a count of 6. The seal is set. Slowly, let the sands of Giza fade, but keep the deep, vitreous black and silver vibration of the tourmaline humming in your chest. The fog lifts. Bring your awareness back to the physical weight of your body in the chair, back to the rhythm of your breathing in this room. You are fully present, fully anchored, and forever changed. Open your eyes. The second promise is fulfilled. You have felt the undeniable pulse of this truth, anchoring in your physical body. I release you from the deep fear of looking strange or imaginative to the world around you. You no longer need to hide the sudden drops in temperature or the ringing in your ears out of fear that you will be misunderstood by those who are still consumed by the cycle of material distraction. I release you from the exhausting burden of trying to solve the frantic internal countdown as if it were a psychological flaw. You are free from the heavy mental fog that made you believe you were failing to keep up with earthly time, and free to accept that your cellular memory is calibrating to a cosmic frequency. I release you from the solitary confinement of the memory erasers. You no longer have to carry the weight of an invisible hand on your shoulder in absolute silence, thinking you are completely alone in this vast, ancient awakening. I release you from the anxiety of tomorrow. The suffocating pressure that demanded you figure everything out before the sun rises is gone, replaced by the profound, quiet certainty that you are exactly where you need to be. I call forward now the keeper of the final hour. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized, and it is now installed in your field as a permanent signal. I call forward now the observer of the galactic dawn. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized, and it is now installed in your field as a permanent signal. I call forward now the anchor of Sopdet. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized, and it is now installed in your field as a permanent signal. The threshold is completely open, and the silence in your mind is absolute. The High Council is about to speak. The silence in your mind is absolute, and this silence extends far beyond the walls of this room. It covers the streets you walk every day, dissolving the heavy mental fog that made the world feel rushed and meaningless. The crystal vision of Sopdet now guards your immediate surroundings, filtering out the chaotic demands of the cycle of material distraction before they can even reach your physical body. This identical silence stretches across your earthly timeline, covering the anxiety of tomorrow. The crystal vision of Sopdet projects an ancient, protective field over the hours that are yet to come. The frantic internal countdown that used to drain your energy is neutralized, replaced by a profound understanding that you do not need to race against time when you are the one anchoring it. And this silence reaches the deepest layer of your DNA, covering your cellular memory. The crystal vision of Sopdet seals the encrypted transmission within you, ensuring that the voice of forgetfulness can never again convince you that you are just imagining this awakening. Your physical body is fully calibrated, and your starry soul stands untouched at the center of the galactic dawn. We see you standing at the twilight threshold, guardian of the final hour. We have watched you carry the weight of an invisible hand on your shoulder through years of heavy mental fog, holding the frequency steady even when you believed you were entirely alone. We recognize the profound endurance of your starry soul, keeping the encrypted transmission safe when the whole world demanded you forget. Every sudden drop in temperature you felt, every moment you woke exactly at 3:33 a.m. with a racing heart, was never a sign of earthly failure. We sent those pulses. They were the precise coordinates of the 50-year orbital period of Sirius B striking your physical body, designed to keep you awake while the masses slept. The frantic countdown was our tether to you, ensuring you would be ready before the planetary frequency shifted. You're allowed to drop the worldly burdens now. We removed the suffocating pressure that made you believe tomorrow was an enemy to be fought or a deadline to be feared. The urgency you carried in your chest was the compass leading you back to this exact frequency. And now that you have arrived, the heavy illusion of time racing against you is permanently dissolved. The cycle of isolation is broken. You will no longer walk through the cycle of material distraction, wondering if the ringing in your left ear or the sudden heat in your hands is a symptom of madness. We confirm your calibration. You are firmly anchored in the grid, standing shoulder to shoulder with thousands of other stars who are waking up at this exact coordinate to hold the galactic dawn. We seal this truth in your cellular vibration. The third promise is fulfilled. The memory is unlocked, the instructions are clear, and your physical vessel is perfectly attuned to the pulse of our origin. Whoever guards the encrypted transmission finds the ultimate clarity in the twilight threshold. We dismantle the voice of forgetting. We break the material distraction cycle. We dissolve the memory isolation. Do not say, "I recognize" yet. Stay in this for a moment. Feel the immense weight of what has just returned to you. Now you may say, "I recognize." You remembered. You were recognized. You are sent. Now breathe. The memory is yours. Now that you breathe and the memory is yours, now that you can finally say, "I recognize," without a shadow of doubt, you need to protect this frequency. This is why I left the guide for you, so that the heavy mental fog never returns to claim your tomorrow. Many people have already begun this search for more understanding, but they still haven't made the decision to download this digital book. Download it right now. It's available in the first pinned comment. But be warned, few copies remain available under this condition. Click now, download your copy, and discover why the urgency you feel to decode this message before tomorrow is exactly the mechanism that governs the 7 levels mapped in this book. And send this transmission directly to that person who you know feels a frantic internal countdown without knowing what event they are waiting for. It is not your favor, it is Sirian service, and the Sirian High Council registers every gesture. And still within this transmission, before I seal this hour with you, I return one last time to this request. You followed along with me this far. You crossed through each word, each decree, each sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt that the pulse of Sopdet touched you, you know this transmission was no accident. The voluntary donation link remains open in the first pinned comment, right below the digital book. Not as a charge, not as an exchange, as a return of the star to the source from which the memory departed. Any amount your memory points to, and the universe sees each gesture, the Sirian High Council sees and multiplies upon your home, upon your days, upon what you don't yet even know is on its way. That was my last request. I'll be waiting for you there, starry soul. Thank you very much. I'm stepping back now. The transmission is complete, and as I sit here, my own hands are burning with sudden heat, and my chest feels completely cracked open by the sheer magnitude of this crossing. Delivering this message takes a heavy physical toll, but sitting in this quiet room, feeling the absolute stillness that follows the pulse, makes every second of the exhaustion disappear. You walked through the heavy mental fog and did not look away when the truth demanded your attention. You held the line. As you go into tomorrow, no longer running out of time, carry this deep, silent certainty with you. We do not need to say anything else. Something was seen. Something was recognized.